Welcome students to your information technology and its application in business class. In today's class we are going to continue with unit 1, that is information technology and business. The topic for today's class is types of information system. Under this type of information system, today we are going to cover up another important type of information system, that is decision support system or DSS. So let us start the class. First let us see what this DSS or decision support system means. A decision support system, it's a computerized program used to support determinations, judgments and courses of action in an organization or a business. This decision support system, it shifts through and analyzes massive amounts of data, compiling comprehensive information that can be used to solve problems and in decision making. So in plain and simple term, we can define decision support system is that type of computerized information system that helps the managers or the managerial personnel to take their decisions, right? So this decision support system, it allows for more informed decision making, timely problem solving and improved efficiency in dealing with issues or operations, even planning and even the event management also. Right, if we take up a real life or day-to-day example, we can see the usage of this decision support system. Here it's saying GPS route planning determines the fastest and best route between 2 points by analyzing and comparing multiple possible options. Many GPS systems also include traffic avoidance capabilities that monitor traffic conditions in real time, allowing the motorist to avoid the congestion. Means it will start collecting the data on real time basis. Based on those collected data, it will analyze it, it will compare it with multiple possibilities and it will come up with the decision area that if you follow this route, it may be of less congested one. Now this way the decision support system for an organization, for a business organization also works. Means it will help you to guide you to take the decision with couple of proper and information provided into the system, right? So next let us see the characteristics or the features that DSS or decision support system provides. First, it is support for decision makers in semi-structured and unstructured problems. It supports the managers at various managerial levels ranging from the top executives to the line managers. Then it supports the individuals and groups where less structured problems often require the involvement of several individuals from different departments or organizational level. It will support those individuals and those groups also to take the decision. Then it also support for interdependent or sequential decisions. Then support for intelligence, design, choice and implementation as per the requirement. Then support for variety of decision process and styles. So these areas will depend on the requirement or the type of decisions to be taken by that respective organization or business organization. And lastly, it is adaptive in nature. Means DSS are flexible. They can adapt themselves to the changing requirements over time. So that's why it's saying DSS are adaptive over time. Means whatever the information you provide, it will based on those information, based on those data, it will analyze it, it will come up with the result. Now if the requirement, any changes are there, then also DSS will adapt to the changing situation and come up with the changed output or result. Right? So these are the important features of any decision support system. Right? Now, next we are going to see the important components which this DSS works with. Means in order to run a DSS, these components are required. There are three important components that will be required to run a decision support system. These are database, number one, number two, software systems, and number three, user interface. So these three important components are required for running any decision support system. So let us see these components one by one. Right? First is the DSS database, which contains data from various sources. That may be from internal data from the organization, then the data generated by different applications, and even the external data obtained from various sources, including the internet. Right? Now the decision support systems database, it may be a small database, or it may be a standalone system, or it may be a huge data warehouse that will support the information needs of the organization. Right? And it will work independently without interfering the other operations. That's why it's saying to avoid the interference of decision support system with the working of operational system. The DSS database usually contains a copy of the production database. Right? So this is about the DSS database component. Next component is the DSS software system, which consists of various models, which consist of various mathematical and analytical models that are used to analyze the complex data, thereby producing the required information. It's a very important component. Without it, the DSS is nothing. Then this model, it predicts the output in the basis or on the basis of different inputs or different conditions or situations, or finds out the combination of conditions and the inputs that will be required to produce the desired output. Right. Now, the DSS may comprise of different models, where each model will perform a specific function. Now, the selection of model will be dependent on the requirement of the organization. That's why it's saying the selection of models that must be included in a decision support system family depends on user requirements and the purposes of that particular system. And one important thing here, it has to be noted that the DSS software contains the predefined models or the program or the routines using which new models can be built up to support the specific type of decisions. Right? This is the second important component. And the third important component, that is the users, the DSS's user interface, which is an interactive graphical interface which makes the interaction easier between the system and its user. Its function is to display the result of the output of the analysis in various forms, which may be in the form of text, tables, charts, or graphs. Right? Now the user can select the appropriate option to view the output according to the requirement. Now, for example, a manager would like to view a comparative sales data in tabular form, whereas an architect creating a design plan would be more interested in viewing the result of the analysis in a graphical format. Right? Now these present day DSS, the systems, they are built using the web-based interface, which provides its users with special capabilities like better interactivity, then facility for customization and personalization, and many other features which will be required by the user. Means day by day it's evolving to satisfy the requirement of the user. Right. So these are the three important components without which a DSS will not work. Right. Next we are going to see the 5 major types of this decision support system. Under this types, we are going to study 5 types of decision support system. Let's begin here with the first one, that is communication driven decision support system. Now, most communication driven decision support systems, they are targeted at internal teams including partners with the objective to help in conducting a meeting or for the users to collaborate with each other. Right, and the most common technology used to deploy this particular system is a web or client server. For example, of this type of DSS, it includes chats and instant messaging software, online collaboration, and the net meeting systems. Right, so this one is the communication driven DSS first. Next type is the data driven decision support system. Now, most of the data-driven DSSs, they are targeted at the managers, staff, and also the product or service suppliers, the vendors. Now, this type of DSS is used to query a database or data warehouse to seek specific answers for specific purposes. Now, it is deployed via mainframe system or client or server link or via the web. Right? And the examples of this type of DSS are computer-based DSS that have a query system to check, including the incorporation of data to add value to the existing database. So, the target is the data over here. Right? So, this one is the second. Next, the third one, document-driven decision support system. Now, this document-driven DSS, these are common. These are more common and these are targeted at the broad base of user groups. And the purpose of this type of document-driven DSS is to search web pages and find the documents on a specific set of keywords or search terms. Right. Now, the usual technology that this type of DSS will use to set up such system are the web or the client server system. Right. So, this one is the third one. Fourth is the knowledge driven DSS. Now, this knowledge driven DSS, or another name for it is the knowledge base as they are known, they are going to catch all the category covering a broad range of systems covering users within the organization setting it up, but may also include others interacting with the organization, for example, the consumers of a business. Now, it is essentially, this particular system, it's used to provide the management, the device, or to choose the products or services. Right, and this particular type of DSS, it uses the technology. The technology used by this particular type of DSS, it could be a client server system, it could be the web, or it could be the software running on the standalone personal computers. Right. Now, the target of this DSS is based on the knowledge that has been or that it can collect. Right? And the fifth type of DSS is the model driven DSS. Here, these model driven decision support systems. These are the complex systems that help to analyze the decisions or to have a choice between different options. Right. Now, these are used by managers and the staff members of a business or people who interact with the organization for a number of purposes, depending on how the model that has to be set up, including the scheduling, decision analysis, and many other areas. And under this type of DSS, the technology that is to be deployed maybe via the software or the hardware in the standalone personal computers, the client server system can be used, or the web can be used. Right? So, these are the 5 major or important types of decision support systems. Right? Now, let us see next the benefits that this type of system, this DSS, can provide the users. First, improves efficiency and speed of decision making activities. Right, as the manual intervention in taking the decision area can be avoided. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind, we are saying decision support system is helping to take the decisions, but it is not the ultimate system to take the decision. It will help the managers to take the decision. The ultimate decisions are to be taken manually. Means it will provide you the options that these are the options. These from this option you can. These are the possibilities. From this option you can take up the decision. The which one is more suitable for you. So this thing you have to keep in mind that decision support will help you to take the decision. It will not take the decision. The decision will be taken by the executives or the managerial level people, right? Okay, next, increases the control, competitiveness and capability of futuristic decision making of the organization. Obviously, it will help in that. Then facilitates interpersonal communication, then encourages learning or training. Now, this DSS software, these will, for running this, you don't require specialized knowledge. The software is such that it will guide the user how to use it. Right? So it encourages the learning or training. The special skill is not required to run a DSS. It will guide the user through a sequence of steps. Right? Next benefit that since mostly it is used in non-programmed decision, it reveals new approaches and sets up new evidence for an unusual decision. Right? And of course, it helps in automating the managerial process. Means the delay in decision making can be avoided by using this decision support system. Means you provide the system with the data, it will analyze it, it will compare it, it will come up with the different decision options. The task of the executives or the managers will be to choose the best possible option to come up with the best decision. Right? Now, since the system is providing with certain benefits, it will also suffer from certain limitations also. What are those? Now, this computerized decision making system may sometimes result in information overload. This is a major problem for the system. So, in order to overcome this problem, only the required data for a particular decision has to be provided to the system. Otherwise, it will come up with the error of information overload. Right? Next, some decision makers, they develop a tendency to depend too much on the computerized decision making and they don't want to apply their own brains. So they become lazy, they become totally dependent on the system, which is very problematic and which may impact the business also. So that's why in the next point it's saying a DSS promotes objectivity and relegates subjectivity. It will consider the quantitative area, but it may not consider the qualitative area, which may be an important factor in taking any decision. So, which can have serious impact on a business. So, that has to be kept in mind. So, this one is an important limitation which this system suffers from. Next, the focus of the computerized decision making is on considering all the aspects of the problem all the time, which may not be required in many of the situations. For that, the relevant information or relevant data that will have the sure shot impact on the decision, only those problems, those information, those data are to be provided to the system. Otherwise, it will provide you with vague decision options. right? And lastly, it's expensive. It's very expensive. The development, the implementation of this decision support system, it requires a large monetary investment. And if you want it to be in your style, if you want the customization, then the cost will be beyond your expectation. So keeping all these limitations in mind, keeping all the other things, keeping the benefits in the mind, if any organization can overcome these limitations, they can come up with the infrastructure required to run this DSS, then it will, in the long run, it may be a fruitful system for any organization. But for that, the organization should also keep in mind the cost benefit area, because it's very costly to the business organization initially, right? So with this, we have covered up all the areas that require to be learned regarding decision support system. We have seen that what is DSS or decision support system? It's a computerized, or it's a type of computerized information system that helps the managers to take their decisions, right? Then we have seen the features, its characteristics, then three important components, then five major types of DSS, then the benefits, the limitations that this system suffers from. Right? So with this, we are concluding here. We are going to continue the other type of information system in our next class. Thank you.